Shalom, shalom. HALALYAM, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Brother Tazam Gabar coming at you from the Prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. Double honors be to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Teach them well. Peace and salutations be to hopeful elect. There's going to be a lesson going in on, it's going to be titled, We Must Put in Work to Receive the Reward. And that's common sense, first and foremost, because look at all the houses and all the cars and everything around you. Everything is made up of works. You grab the scripture here. If I grab the scripture here, in the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So you see that everything around you, it takes a labor to create. And these are the rewards of man's labors, the things that you see around you. Okay, there's nothing around you, besides that is natural. Yeah, actually, if I may say, there's nothing around you that didn't take labor. Even the water, the grass, the trees, those things took labor, man. The Lord created those, and he did it with labor, So you see that everything to come to pass, it took labor, man. It took work. You had to put in work in order to get it, I'm going to grab this scripture here in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 13. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it. Okay, so your work is going to be made manifest, whether it be works into evil, works into wickedness, physical labor, spiritual labor, man, works into righteousness. It's going to be made manifest, And that day you're going to see what a man put all of his time and effort into laboring towards, man, It says, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. Now we just read 2 Peter 3 and 10, where it tells you all the works that are therein in the earth shall be burned up, man, But the work that we teach, the work that we're doing, it's immortal, because it's the word of the Lord, man, that we preach. And that's a labor. To go out there to, put on some garments, grab the scriptures and go out there and begin speaking out to the, and standing, for hours and speaking. That's a labor, believe it or not, man. I remember I used to have this one job where basically I just stood there all day, and I was working at an amusement park. I stood there all day and I scanned tickets so people can get into the park, but that's a labor. If I wasn't there to scan tickets, even though I was standing there all day, if I wasn't there standing there to scan those tickets, nobody wouldn't have gotten into the park. There wouldn't be people getting into the park, man. Okay, so things take labor, and it's spiritual, because what we're doing out there is standing out there and on the highways and hedges and preaching, even if it's to the wind sometimes. But if we weren't doing that, if the brothers weren't doing that, true sincerity, nobody would be getting bid to the marriage. Nobody would be getting into the marriage, just like nobody would be getting into that amusement park, man. So it says, if any man's work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. So whatever you're doing, if it's not of righteousness, it's going to fail. It's not going to abide in that day. Because what? The fire going to reveal it, man. The fire going to burn it up, You ain't going to get no reward, because your work is going to get burned up. Because what? It wasn't a work unto righteousness. It wasn't a work unto the Lord, YAHAWASHI. You did nothing to work towards the kingdom, man. And that's what we're doing. We out here putting in work towards the kingdom to get into Lord willing, get into a chariot, man, and get into the kingdom, man. We building up the kingdom already spiritually, man. Scripture talks about the kingdom is within you, talking about 144,000 cubits, and those are men, I beheld the heavens, a new kingdom, a new city, a new Jerusalem coming down from heaven. Those are like men coming down from chariots, man. It says, if any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. So you see that 2/3 themselves are going to get saved as well, man. But by fire. So what does that mean? they're going to be burnt by fire, and they're going to be born again in the kingdom, man. You know, so in the day, Scripture says all of Israel shall be saved, even though the elect is going to get saved without going through that fire. 2/3 are going to get saved by going through fire, man. They're going to have to go through fire, which is what? The Lord's way of cleansing them, purifying them. You know, they're already going to suffer affliction and pressure through Jacob's trouble. They're going to it's going to be forced upon them, man. They ain't going to have no choice. Jake ain't going to have no choice but to fast. Jake ain't going to have no choice but to suffer affliction. Jake ain't going to have no choice but to go through it, man. But what the Lord said is like men going to be saved without going through that fire, which is the second death, man. You know, it's the book of John, chapter 6 and verse 27. Labor not for the meat which perisheth. So labor not for the things that has no fruit, that bears no fruit, that is not immortality. The things that we're laboring for in this truth is for immortality, is for eternity, man. It's to have peace forever, to have the kingdom, which is an everlasting kingdom, you know, to be at peace with YAHAWASHI forevermore. You know, don't labor for the things that's not going to get you there. A lot of people labor to become famous on this side. A lot of people labor to become a famous rapper, a famous boxer, you know, and I can attest myself, you know, when I was in the world, I used to put in labors to go to be a professional boxer, man. You know, I used to box every day. I go in the gym and boxing every day, trying to put in labor so that I can be a professional boxer and be somebody in this world. But we had to become nobodies in this world so that we can become somebodies in the world to come. You know, you don't want to be nobody in the kingdom. Scripture talks about the least in the kingdom of heaven. You don't want to be the least in the kingdom of heaven, man. You know, you want to be the elect, those that have books written about them. Those that are famous in every land. The Lord going to give these men their own planets. The things that they desire, their heart's desire. The Lord going to give it to them, man. You know, because what? They put in the work for it. You're going to look at the elect men in those days in the kingdom and say, what did these men do to get this? You know, because they're going to be on a higher level than the rest of Israel. So clearly it had to be something done. They had to do something extra in order to get that level. Because what? There's no, how should I say? I should put it. There's no results without labor, okay? I should just say, for lack of better words, there's no results without labor. You can't expect to be dwelling in a house if you ain't labor to build it. If you didn't pay anybody to build it, or you didn't build it yourself, there will be no house. There has to be something done in order to make it to what it is today. You know, you got to put in work. No matter how you slice it, there's going to be work that needs to be done, whether you pay somebody to do it or you do it yourself. In this case, we got to do it ourselves. Because what the scriptures say, let every man work out his own salvation, you know, with fear and trembling. We ain't working out our salvation, you know. I can't save another man, and another man can't save me. He's working out his own salvation, and I'm working out my own salvation with fear and trembling, both hoping that the Lord will have mercy upon us. And in the kingdom, we can meet again and say, hey, brother, we made it, man. Have drinks together, you know, and enjoy the kingdom that the Lord has prepared for us, man. Lord willing, we be those men. And, you know, the Lord has prepared the kingdom for all of Israel. But guess what? For his elect, man, I'm just going to say, you want to put in that work, man. You definitely want to put in that work. Okay? You can't go wrong with the kingdom. Labor not for that meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath Yahweh the Father sealed. Okay? Which is that with that truth, man. You want to labor and sound doctrine and labor in this truth for the Lord, man. You know, because these things are everlasting. Let me grab one scripture real quick off of that, precept off of that. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 24. For all flesh is as grass. You see the grass, it grows and it dies, you know, and it doesn't have very long. And all the glory of man as the flower of grass. So all the glory of man, everything you can attain to yourself to be glorious, it's as the flower of grass. The flower of the grass, you know, dies just as quick as the grass, if not quicker. But all the glory of man is as the flower of grass, man. So anything that you can accrue in this world or obtain in this world to glory in, even these bodies, They're as grass. They're going to perish. Anything in this earth it perishes, man. It has an expiration date because it's earthy. You know, it's terrestrial. So it doesn't abide forever, man. You know, the grass withereth and the flower thereof falleth away. It goes on. It says, so like you bear with me. But the word of the Lord endureth forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you. So the word of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, endures forever. It's everlasting. It's immortal. The truth of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, it's immortal. It cannot die. It's preached now, and you're going to hear about it again in the kingdom. You know, and it's not like it's going to be preached in the kingdom. It's just going to be around you. It's going to be made manifest in the kingdom. You know, because it endures forever. After this world passes away, which is this eon, this era, after this age passes away, you're going to still see the word of the Lord. It's going to be made manifest. It's going to be physical. And it ain't going to be words no more. It's going to be made physical, you know, because it's going to be written in your inward parts. You're going to be keeping them without even realizing it. You know, you're keeping the word of the Lord. So like you, without even realizing it, man. This is a walk and talk. You probably hear my footsteps and my voice wavering. But you're going to be keeping the things of the Lord, the word of the Lord, without even realizing it, man. And the things that we preach out here at the kingdom, the things that we speak on, is going to be made before you. You're going to see it before you. You're going to be able to see Leviathan. You're going to be able to see chariots up close. You're going to be able to fly in chariots. You're going to be able to see the gold city, man. The gold streets paved in gold. All these precious jewels, emeralds, gold, ruby, you know. This thing's going to be made manifest before you, man. Back to John chapter 6 and verse 28. They said unto him, so like it then said they unto him, what shall we do that we might work the works of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai? Yahushua answered and said unto them, this is the work of Yahweh, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. So the Lord tells you what? Yahushua tells you, no man can go into the Father unless you come through him first, into Yahushua first, man. You know, and that takes faith. Okay, that takes faith and works. Okay, because faith is dead without works, man. They said therefore unto him, what sign shewest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? What dost thou work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. Then Yahushua said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven, which is who? Yahushua, man. For the bread of Yahweh is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world, which is the world of Israel. Nobody else. Okay? Wanted to grab this real quick. Going into your labors, man. Because you can get slothful, man. You know? Imagine working, and then you just stop showing up to work. That's because you're lazy. You're slothful. You know? You expect to receive a reward of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But guess what? You get lazy, and then what? You're still expecting to see that reward? You're still expecting the Lord to give you something when you ain't giving him nothing? You know? It's like that saying goes, if you give me 100%, I'll give you 100%. It's the same thing with the Lord. How about you shot, man? But you got to be giving the Lord 100% all the time. You know? Be giving the Lord 5%. You got 7 days off of the week, and you only sitting or doing lessons for the Lord 1 day out of the week. You do one lesson 1 day out of the week, or you read once out of the week. You ain't doing nothing, man. Lord said you're lukewarm. I will spew you out of my mouth. Lord don't want you, man. Me speaking as a man, I wouldn't want you either, man. You know, nobody wants that shit. Nobody wants somebody that's not even trying. Even a relationship. If you having these worldly relationships, someone say, oh, you're not fully committed. I don't want you. Because what? They're not fully committed. They feel like that they're not really into them if they're not fully committed. It's the same thing with the Lord. If you ain't fully committed to the Lord, he going to think, what? You're not really into this. He going to know you're not really into this because the Lord knows your heart, man. Just like you for my rambling, man. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Because what? He's a sluggard. Oh, it's cold. The cold is just an excuse. Oh, it's cold outside. That's just an excuse, man. So a sluggard going to find an excuse according to his will to not do the work of the Lord. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says, therefore shall he beg in the harvest and have nothing. So he gonna beg when the Lord's giving out rewards, but he ain't gonna have nothing, man. You know, because the Lord is coming to give every man a recompense for his labors. You know, let me grab that too. This is something serious, man. Because nothing can get done without work. You have to put the work in. That's just what we were sitting down here to do, is to what? Put the work in, man. You weren't sitting down here to play around. Scripture, Micah 2:10 tells you to rise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. You know? And Jake thinks this is a rest. Jake thinks they can sleep all damn day, every day, and get away with it, man. There's stuff that needs to be done. There's work that needs to be done. And Scripture says the harvest is plenteous, but the labors are few. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me. Woo! To give every man according as his work shall be, man. You know? So the Lord is what? He's coming to give every man according to their works. And there's another one, I believe. Let me grab it. That's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 8. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one. And every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. So I'm not going to receive a reward for the next man's labor, for the head of my camp's labor, or for even the least brother of my camp's labor. I'm going to receive a reward for what I've done. You know, Lord willing, I can receive a reward and I continue on in this thing, man, and endure to the end. You know, if the pure venture that I do, I'm going to receive a reward for what I've done for the Lord, man. You know, and even these wicked ass jakes, these 2/3 jakes, they're going to receive a reward for what they've done, which is going to be what? Fire. You know, fire, man. You either getting what? Salvation through a chariot, redeemed from the fire, or you going to get put through the fire, man. You know, or it's okay. This guy's, that's gold, that's gold, that's gold. Put it onto the chariot. We don't need to clean it off. We don't need to burn all the dirt and all that shit off of it, man. But 2/3, they're going to have to get burned before they can get saved, man. They're going to have to get burned and come back again in the kingdom, man. You know? Flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of YAHAWASHI. So they're going to have to be reborn in the kingdom. You know? They can't just be placed in there, man. The Lord's going to do that. He's going to do that for his elect. He's going to give them new bodies and place them into the kingdom, man. And we're going to have these heathens build up our kingdom. Lord willing, be that number. We're going to have these heathens build up a kingdom from the flow up, man. You know? And they're going to be getting towed up from the flow up at the same time, man. This is the book of oh yeah, let me grab this. I'm gonna go into this real quick. I'll probably close it out with this. I don't want to make this too long. I thought I had it here. Now, when you look at this scripture in the book of KJV, or the book of Matthew, and King James version, obviously. Bear with me just a second. This phone's tweaking out. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 24. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee, that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. So, and even with this, the Lord did sow, man. Because what? He was the first one to sow. He laid the foundation, man. You know, you can't say, oh, we were putting in work before the Lord was putting in work. Back then, what about Moses? What about this and that? You know, really, Yahawashi was putting in that work, man. Because what? Yahawashi put the Spirit on us to even do this work. You know, from the beginning. You know, Just because he came down in the flesh don't mean that's when he started off, man. No, the Lord was here from the beginning, from the jump, always. Before we were down here doing the work, before we were created, the Lord was here. YAHAWASHI was here. It says, verse 25, and I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant. So pretty much the nigga not doing the work of the Lord because he's slothful and he's wicked. He want to do what he want to do, and instead of doing the work of the Lord, man. You know, and you don't come into this truth when you want to come into this truth, man. You come in when the Lord calls you, or the Lord gonna reject you. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. It says, thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury, man. You know, so let me grab this in the book of John, chapter 1, and verse 29. You know, because you can say all you want, oh, there were prophets before the Lord got down here and started doing the work, you know. But guess what? That's not really the case. The Lord was already down here, man. The Lord had already done the work. He was doing the work from the beginning, from the jump. The Lord was putting in works, man. You know, it's the book of John, chapter 1 and verse 29. The next day John seeth YAHAWASHI coming unto him, and saith, behold, the Lamb of Yahweh, which taketh away the sin of the world. And who's that talking about, man? It's talking about Israel, because Romans chapter 9 tells you that to Israel pertaineth the adoption, the law, the covenants, the promises. So what's sin? Sin is transgression of the law. And if the law only pertains to Israel, then this scripture is talking about the world of Israel. So it goes on, it says, this is he of whom I said, after me cometh a man, which is preferred before me, for he was before me. Okay. Even John said it himself, man. YAHAWASHI was before him, man. You know, YAHAWASHI, you know, didn't necessarily come after him. And that lifetime in the flesh, that's how they may have seen it. But in the spirit, the Lord was already there before him. You know, so that's all I wanted to bring up today, man. I truly hope this lesson was edifying to you, Akim. Listening to the sincerity. So next time, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. To next time, I say shalom.